Welcome back to the Soul and Success series on the Spiritual UPlevel Podcast, where I share tips, tricks, and tools for finding success while also being fully and aligned with your soul. I'm your host, Jeri Cristine, and today we're going to talk about exactly that, soul aligned success, and how to allow it, find it, discover it, be it in your life. So, first of all, story time. As many of you know, I was, still am, in the real estate industry. My husband and I owned a real estate company. We currently own a property management company and a construction company. We have so many LLCs with our real estate investment businesses. And we found a lot of success in that area. But I personally have been in the real estate industry for 25 years now. My husband has been in construction all of his life. We built these companies from a place of excitement, ambition, and motivation that was primarily money and what could we achieve. I know for me, my main motivation was money. I know for my husband, his main motivation was proving that he could. He wanted to prove to other people that he could accomplish all of these things. And those things are great motivating factors when you're getting started, especially when you're younger, or if you have something to prove, or if you are in desperate need of some finances. Those those things they'll do it. They'll motivate you. But there comes a point in your life, for most people, it's called a midlife crisis. I like to call it a midlife awakening. For most people in your 40s, early 50s, I think it can range from anywhere from mid 30s to on up, where we have just this awakening that we realize, what's it all for? What's the point? Do I love doing what I'm doing? Is the amount of pushing and driving and perhaps leaving my children, is all of that worth it? Is all of the success, all of the money, all the accomplishments, were they actually worth the price that you pay? And the biggest price being happiness, fulfillment, and joy. And I want to preface that by saying that I think it's happening at a younger and younger age. I absolutely love seeing the younger people just waking up to that. So if you're one of those, if you're listening to this podcast and you're under 35, you probably are one of those. And I commend you, because, the younger generations are realizing long before the rest of us did that it's maybe not worth it. The sacrifice is maybe not worth the reward in the end. And you're waking up and questioning and finding new ways to do things that are actually fulfilling to your soul. And I highly commend you for that. For the rest of us, we have a wake up call somewhere around our 40s where we start to question everything. And that's what happened to me. Again, you probably know our children are adopted. We have 3 of the most beautiful little souls that we are blessed and honored to raise. And when the children were small, I really started questioning, was it all worth it? And this driving and pushing and always thinking about work. I mean, I worked at one time, I kind of added it up, and it was 80 to 100 hours a week. And I think that's probably true for most entrepreneurs. When you own the business, you are everything. Like, you are bottom line for everything. Even when you have employees and managers, it all comes down to you. Everybody gets a paycheck before you do. And that's only right. That's just the facts of life. That's just the facts of entrepreneurship and how it works. And so therefore, it can be all consuming. You go to work, you come home, you keep working. And at some point you realize, most of us realize that the people around us kind of suffered from that. People are either task oriented or people oriented. And I was definitely task oriented. I still am. I still am. I still struggle with it. I still remind myself, okay, my child needs me to snuggle with them at night as opposed to finishing this one last task. When you're task oriented, you realize task oriented and money motivated, you hopefully at some point realize that the people around you, your relationships are suffering. And is it worth it? And so for me, the answer started to become no. I'm so grateful for my businesses. I absolutely appreciate our employees and everything. And it wasn't that so much. What wasn't worth it was how much I had to put into these businesses. My health wasn't good. Um, my family was suffering. And so I had to take a step back and I had to really analyze, who am I? What do I want? What brings me joy? And how can I start to bring more of that into my life? And so that all started probably about 2015, came to a head in 2021. At that point, we had three children. Caleb was only a year and a half old, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I could not go to work one more day, leaving my children with a nanny or a babysitter, and having the weight of the world on my shoulders so much that I couldn't enjoy the time I had with my family when I had time with them. And so I really had to take some self contemplation time, a lot of time, and just come back to me and find who I truly am and what lights my soul up and allow that into my life. I heard someone recently say that in our culture, most of us live from the outside in instead of from the inside out. And what that means is that we look around and we go, I don't have enough money. I have to do this. I have this. I need this. I need this bag. I need this car. I need keeping up with the Joneses. I have all these bills to pay. So therefore, all I can do is work. That's living from the outside in. Living from the inside out, you say, what lights me up? What does that little girl inside of me want to do? How do I play? How do I enjoy life? And then you add that into your life, and all of a sudden life starts to change. That's living from the inside out, bringing joy, finding your true essence, and letting that shine through. So for me, that came down to this sort of work: coaching, spirituality, helping other people find their centeredness and show that to the world, helping other people live from the inside out, while I at the same time was doing it myself. And I have found so much joy in that. And you know how when you're doing what is in alignment with your soul, as if you would do it whether you got paid or not. Would you do it for free? Do you even think about the money when you're doing the thing that really lights you up? And I'm not saying to work for free. I'm not saying that you have to give up all of the things that you've achieved through all of your hard work. But what I am saying is that you need to bring those things into your life so that you can start enjoying and living from that space of excitement, joy, peace, happiness. And then everything else kind of seems to fall into line with that. So for me, I started coaching, I started doing this podcast, I've started putting out classes, and I found my joy and peace. It also trickled over into our family. Because of where I was in my life, I definitely came from a masculine energy perspective. And two spouses can't be in that same space. So if I have all the masculine for the family, then my husband had to step in and have some of the feminine for our family. And he had done that. He was the nice one. He was the fun one. And sometimes he was the one that they went to when they were hurt or needed something. And that broke my mommy heart. And not that I don't want him to be that person. However, that's more often the role of the woman or the feminine energy in the house. And I desperately wanted to switch back into that role of feminine coming from feminine energy. And throughout this transformation, we've been able to do that. I'm definitely the feminine energy now, and my husband is 100% the masculine energy, and it's just balanced out our house. Even our children react better to that. I think it's was a little confusing for them before. And now it's not. And money, like I said, I used to be completely money motivated, money oriented, and now I don't even think about it. Like I just know that the universe provides and the universe is abundant. And as long as I am doing the things that God calls me to do that light me up, there will be reward for that. That's probably a whole other topic. If you don't resonate with that, I don't blame you. It took me 49 years to completely enter that area of peace around finances. We'll talk about that on another day. But through all of this, my husband and I created a class, and we call it Soul Aligned Success: Unlocking Peak Performance Through Inner Alignment. And so this class is designed to help you succeed in the area of career and wealth. However, it applies to every area of life. So if you go back to my circle, my wheel of life, which is posted on a couple other podcasts and my website, it can go for any area of life, but it was specifically designed for success, career success, and wealth. And we go through tools such as some of them that we've talked about on this podcast, the uh, the sweet spot quadrant being one of them. We talk about hold on, pause. So we talk about uncovering your dreams. Who do you see when you think about your future self? Who is that person and what is that person doing? How do they, how do they look? How do they feel? What is their bank account? What do they drive? What does the house look like? We talk about all of those things and coming into alignment with that person. And then we go through the sweet spot quadrant. What do you like to do that you're good at? What do you like to do that you're not good at? What do you not like to do that you're good at? And what do you not like to do that you're not even good at? We go through that to help you align with the things you should actually be doing versus the things that you should get off of your plate. We talk about setting SMART goals, which SMART goals stands for specific, measurable, attainable, risky, and have a time frame, because you can't accomplish anything worthwhile if you don't have the end in mind. And if the goal is too vague, you also won't get there. It has to be specific. It has to be a SMART goal. So we go through SMART goals. And we also talk about, how are you playing in your game of life? Are you really playing for success, or are you just kind of like floating along and, what will be, will be? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you want to achieve success in an area of your life, you have to be fully committed to it. So we talk about all of those things. We dive deep into what each of them mean, how to uncover your true self in each of those areas, and then how to live it out in your workspace. If you don't have alignment within yourself, you will not be able to be successful. So, we go into how you talk to yourself, How do you treat yourself? What are the things you believe? If you aren't in alignment there, if the things that you say and the way that you speak to yourself aren't exciting and positive and uplifting, it's going to be really difficult to move forward in that area. Um, we also dive into, some step by step of how to implement this into your life. So after, 25 years of studying this material and living it, we've realized that, success, like I said, it can be achieved through driving and money motivated. However, it's short lived. Those are ways to get a lot done and burn yourself out fast. However, if you come at success from a place of true alignment, like what are your values? We go into values. What are your values? What are your goals? Who do you want to become in the future? When all of that is in alignment and you know your aim, you know your end game, you you'll make it happen. It has to happen. If all those things are in alignment and you're willing to work for it, because there's always work required. But if all of that is in alignment, it has there's no other way. The universe will align to allow it to happen. There's So without going into every single step of the class, this class is a video series. Um, it's, I think, 8 sessions. If you just watch the videos all the way through, it's about an hour and a half. However, each of the videos has homework that you will want to do because that's the whole point of the class. You don't want to just listen to the information. You actually want to take it and make it alive, make it active, make it real. This is an evergreen class that you can come back to at any given moment. When you get towards achieving a goal, it's time to set another one. Yes, celebrate that goal. However, what's next? What's next? There's always what's next on the path of success and achievement. So it's an evergreen course. Again, you can do it in any area of your life, and it is only $37. We just want to get the information out to as many people as will hear it. Like I told you earlier, what lights me up is sharing information with people so that they can live a life that's exciting to them and fulfilling to them. And that is what makes me happy. So I hope that some of you will check the class out. We'll have the link in the bio for the podcast episode. And I really look forward to hearing from you, the changes that you make, the successes that you have, and any questions that you have. So thank you for joining me today on this episode of Soul and Success, and I look forward to seeing you next time.